everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie. Happy Monday, and welcome to this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new, WIP stands for Work in Progress. In this case, for me, it's going to be a diamond painting I'm going to be working on. And chat, well, that part just means that I'm going to be talking your ear off for the next hour or so, and just talking about diamond painting, talking about life, and we'll see where the conversation takes us. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to be working on a diamond painting. Specifically, I thought that I would bring you guys along for me to catch up on my temperature project for this year. A temperature project is something where you're tracking the temperature where you live throughout the year. In this case, I'm tracking the high each day for where I live, and each day is represented by a book on this bookshelf, and each shelf represents a month. The chart itself is from Christie's Corner. I'll have it linked below. And yeah, I've gone through, this is just the stock image for it. But there's fun little like charms and elements that you can put in here. She also includes some other ones with this chart that you can swap in if you like better. So for example, this shelf would have originally had a hedgehog, but she had like a chart for a little Mario that I swapped in instead. And she has additional like trinket packs that you can purchase of various cross-stitch charts for other little trinkets that I picked up those too, because it was just fun to have others to swap in. Here, let me show you. If you haven't watched my month in review videos, you won't have seen this, which is fine. You watch whatever you want to watch. But I did this castle. This is the month of June. This castle is because that's the month that Adam and I got married and we went to Disney on our honeymoon, and I just thought that was really cute, honestly. The sword, well, this is May. This is when my oldest was born, and he's really into like Roblox and Minecraft, so I went with that. April is the month that we got our puppy Scout, and so I took one of the charts that she had for a dog and tried to make it match Scout's coloring, which was really fun. The candlestick and the plant, those were already in there, as was the dragon. And then this shelf had such a big space that I was able to chart in this like big cat that she had as an option. And it's hard to see because I use this really light color background, but there's some white glitter drills in here because our cat's a tuxedo cat. So so that was fun for like the Lunar New Year. This was the end of the year of the dragon, so I thought that would be, I don't know, that's what I went with. So for the month of September, what is on the chart? What was it? Oh, these like potion bottles and this thread. I'm not sure if I'll keep the potion bottles or not, but I'm not going to decide yet. I'm just going to focus on doing the books, and then I'll come back in and decide. Yeah, we'll just focus on catching up the books. So here's my range chart of colors. So I broke these into pretty small ranges. So basically, if the high is between 60 and 62 degrees Fahrenheit on a given day, then this is the color that I use. If it's between 63 and 64, this is the color I use. Obviously, very, very fancy way of writing this out. You know what? It works. And then I went through, I have this notebook where I just literally will track. There's a couple of websites you can use for historical data for weather, and I just tend to go through there at the end of the month, and I just write this all out so it's all in one place, and then I can just easily go one by one and do a big chunk of it all at once. In this case, a whole month all at once. So accessories wise, I didn't try to grab anything coordinated or variety. I kind of just grabbed what I have handy, and that includes a pen that's from Jim's Handmade Pen Shop, Miranda's Crafty Corner putty. This is Not Your Mama's Mud Wax from the shop Whimsical Daisies in its coffee time scent. And then the tray is from Munimade. So all these shops will be linked below. A lot of these are shops that they tend to be kind of the ones that I'll reach for. Like if I could only use one for the rest of my life, I would use a Munimade tray probably. I mean, I've been using them for 5+ years at this point. And same with like the putty and the wax. These are my go-tos. Pens would be a lot harder. It would be really hard to pick just one pen maker that I could use for the rest of my life. But thankfully, I don't have to. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my cross-stitch chart, which I'll show you a tiny bit of it. I obviously can't show you much of it for sake of copyright, but I use Pattern Keeper on a Fire tablet, and so just to show you like a really small part of it here is like it's digital, and you just pick and select the symbol, and then it tells you what DMC code over here on the right that you use, that you grab, and then you just count and follow it. So I think I need to make, I don't know if I have a dedicated cross stitch conversion playlist on my channel. I think I do, but I've done a lot of these kinds of projects over the years and feel like they're just so fun and rewarding. It's really neat that it opens up a whole new like sector of artwork to you, because cross stitch has been around for so much longer than diamond painting that there's so much out there. Licensing is a thing with cross stitch charts as well, so you want to watch out for that. And I know not necessarily all cross stitch charts or shops are created equal, but this one, Christie's Corner, is pretty good. She has a lot of temperature charts, so if you're looking for a temperature chart to start with, that could be an option. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna do the shelf. I'm gonna fill in the brown outlines that I have that all set to go. The canvas is from Jaded Gem Shop. I basically sent her a link to the listing for this chart, and she was able to see like what the dimensions were from that and get me a canvas that was the correct size. And she also sourced, she got the drills for me for like the base colors and the ones that otherwise came with the charms. But then for the actual books, I picked out what I wanted to use. I decided what different ranges and stuff that I wanted to do and went with that. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, sorry for the little cut there. I mean, you guys won't notice any of it. Adam is he went to a movie with some friends tonight, and so he was just calling to check, and I was like, it's Sunday night. I'm filming my WIP and Chat. Like, what do you think that is going on right now? He's like, oh, okay. So anyway, I have absolutely no idea what I was saying before I swapped over. That's okay. So anyway, hi, hello. How are you doing today? How was your weekend? I hope that you had a relaxing one and that your Monday and your week are off to a wonderful start. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. Let's go across. I honestly, when I was sitting down trying to figure out what project to work on in this week's WIP and Chat, I was at a little bit of a loss. And let me try to explain. I currently have 2 other WIPs going, aside from this one. I have the Ghosts Doing Stuff, which is kind of like a mystery advent kit from Diamond Art Studio UK that I'm loving. And I have the Ghost of Eras Past kit from Jaded Gem Shop, which I'm also loving. But the thing is, do you guys hear my cat just randomly meowing upstairs? Probably sees a ghost. It's fine. Both of those kits, though, I've been filming time lapses of the different sections that I'm working on to incorporate into videos. And I don't have a setup where I don't have 2 cameras to set up and film time lapses while I'm also filming a normal video like this one. And I use like slightly different angles and stuff. And so I was just like, you know what? Let me start something new. Let me pick out a new kit to work on, because I'm probably going to finish the Ghosts Doing Stuff one and the Ghost to Eras Past kit both in the next couple of days, if I had to guess. And then I got to pick out something else to work on. So, but I just can't decide what I want to work on next. And I'm really struck by decision paralysis and thought, well, you know what? Why don't I pull up my temperature project and catch up on that instead? Because I don't tend to reach for this project. I don't get excited about working on this project. I have to kind of motivate myself to work on it, and I try not to fall super behind. I didn't love that I didn't have it caught up for my month in a review this month, or for September, and so I'm holding you guys hostage with me to work on this particular kit. And You know, it's funny. I like how this one is turning out in a lot of ways. I love so much about the color palette of it. And when I look at it with, each month being a shelf, I think it's really cool. But I just am not having as much fun with working on it. And I cannot pinpoint why. I can't really pinpoint why. I don't know if part of it is because I have to do some math and kind of sit down and work to figure out for the different trinkets that I want to put on the shelves. And sometimes it's not super cut and dry. Sometimes if it's from one of her other trinket packs, I don't necessarily have exact color matches to swap in, or if I want to customize them in some way. And I just am very lazy. Honestly, sometimes I just am feeling very lazy. So I do want to do another temperature project for next year, but I'm kind of TBD on what that's going to be. But I need to make that decision soon, because if I decide to go the same kind of route as this year's and last year's, where I get a blank canvas and then a cross stitch chart, I need to order that canvas soon, because, there's delays and stuff with getting them in, and I want to make sure I have it by the beginning of the year. So I gotta get on it. So I've been really, really tempted to basically do a second chance, a second pass on that dragon kit that I did for last year, except with a not crappy canvas that I got from Amazon at the last minute, because I was so last minute about deciding to do that project, and also with color ranges that I think are much better. I love the color ranges for this one, and with special drills that I like. So that is very tempting and currently the way that I'm leaning, but we shall see. So are you guys planning to do a temperature project next year? Have you done one before? Would that be your first one, or is it not really the kind of thing that calls your name? If you want something that's less work, Diamond Art Studio UK released one. They just released one here really recently that basically is kind of prepackaged. It has the canvas with the printing on it, and you just fill in. And what is going on with Skip? Skip, come here. Kitty, kitty, kitty. He doesn't normally do this. But it doesn't sound distressed. I think he might just want to play with Connor, actually. But Connor's door is closed because Skip will sometimes go in there and wake Connor up. Oh, I hear the dog investigating, so he'll come get me if there's a problem. Anyway, so yes, there's a Diamond Art Studio UK version. That's an option if you want something that takes a little less grunt work from you up front. It's really cool that they put that together. But I also wanted to, before I get any later into this video, I wanted to go ahead and just put a little note up here, right here close to the beginning, for those of you watching, because I don't know about you guys, but have you seen Diamond Art Club just kind of going a little hog wild with these teases and hints about Halloween related stuff? Because they need to calm down. But also, I think part of it was for the mystery box, but I do also have to say that part of it is also to come to pass, and is going to be coming to pass sooner than later. So if you have been hoping and waiting for spooky things from them, I just think that you're not going to have to wait much longer. So gird your loins, gird your wallets, honestly, because, oh buddy, I'm in trouble. This is dangerous. I'm in so much trouble, but I'm also very excited. So, yeah, take from that what you will. You guys are smart. You're probably picking up what I'm putting down, but yes, I am excited that there are things to come. Okay, time to do my first book. So let's see. On September 1st, it was a high of 95. And so I need number 604. I need to pull up my special drills, what I need to do. Let me make space over here because I did not. Okay. Special drills galore. Look, here's my pack of special drills. I got the pixie dust ones from DPO Sparklers. And I have the shades of pinks are going to be the ones that are like the higher ranges. It's like blues are, oops, sorry, I just hit that camera really hard. Blues are the colder ranges, purples are the middle, and then pinks are the upper ranges. So let's see, 95 was 604, so the shade of pink. Okay. And then I need to count over because we're not filling in those potion bottles just yet. We're going to be starting a little ways over on the shelf. And it took me a while to be able to do conversions at all while on a WIP and Chat. Let's see. So not this one, not this one. We need to go here. Let me mark my spot. Let me try that again. Not this square, not this square. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're our starting point. Perfect. Okay. So, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're off to the races. So yeah, that was also part of the reason that I've been sitting here twiddling my thumbs trying to figure out what to work on right now, because there have been some delays, which is why this release hasn't happened yet, as far as I understand it. So I'm not sure exactly like when I might hypothetically have something in my hand to work on that is newer. But I don't want to start something else that's really big and involved when I know what I want to work on if I'm able to work on it. I'm sorry to be so vague. Like, hints are fine, but I don't want to like go too overboard. I don't know. 3713, this color. Okay. There's not huge differences in some of these shades, but I'm okay with it. I like how visually it's working out, actually. So I scrolled through my gems flow a few different times. My only real requirements that I had in my head is that I kind of wanted to work on a round drill kit because both of my current kits are squares, and what I might be working on next otherwise will be a square. So it's like, I would like to get a round drill kit in the mix. It doesn't have to be event themed. I'm totally okay with working on something that's not event themed. But I don't know, I was just kind of scrolling going, nothing is super catching my eye. And so then I kind of walked away from it for a little bit, came back to it, and then screenshot like 10 kits. Narrowed it down to 10 kits. Let's see, 30, 42. I rarely get to use this color. This color is for 100 degrees and above, and we've had like 2 days. I think it's going to be only like 2 days this whole year where the high has been 100 degrees or above. I think overall this has actually been kind of an unseasonably mild year, just looking at what our high temperatures have been based on my temperature chart. So I don't know. I'm not mad about it. I like cooler weather, but so I'm still deciding. That's the other reason that I decided to work on this temperature project today, was because I was like, I don't want to try to decide what to work on next otherwise. And then I'd be kidding it up with you guys, and I need to find like storage because I have some post reviews I still need to film. It was a whole thing. It was way more complicated than it needs to be. So anyway, here we are. Speaking of Halloween, I had a lot of fun sharing the mystery box with you guys. I was shocked at how quickly it arrived. I did pay for expedited shipping, but in my experience, it is honestly like 50-50 if it actually ends up showing up faster, or if paradoxically it shows up even slower than regular shipping. So I felt very, very, very fortunate at how quickly it arrived, and of course was very drop everything and get this unboxing up for you guys because I was excited to see what was in it. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I'm not even going to tell you how I felt about it because you could potentially read into my reaction to it if you know my taste, if you've been around my channel a bit and you know things that I like. And so no spoilers here, but the unboxing is up if you are interested. But obviously spoilers abound there, so do be careful. I have, generally speaking, mixed feelings about mystery boxes, all mystery boxes, just because I don't necessarily always, like, I have a love-hate relationship with the gamble of it. Sometimes it's really fun to, I don't know, be like, oh, maybe I'm going to get this thing, or maybe I might get this thing. And then sometimes it's like, but what if there is that kit? like last year, Halloween Bedroom by Mrs. Butter D that didn't come in my box but was a must-have for me, and then I had to go track it down. So it's very, I don't know. I just have very mixed feelings about it. But I get why they do them. So let's see, 3, 6, 8, 8. And I do have a little bit of a backlog of videos that I still need to do that, like I have another Art Dot unboxing that I decided to split from the first one, like do 2 separate ones that I, would like to get to sooner than later, but among others. So I might be playing some catch up this week, depending on how things shake out. But yeah, so other kit progress, like I said, I've been working on Ghost of Eras Past from Jada Gem Shop in conjunction with listening to Taylor Swift's new album. It's just been basically Taylor Swift weekend, which I will talk about a little bit more in a little bit. But and then the Ghost Doing Stuff one from Diamond Art Studio UK. I can honestly say I had no idea I was gonna love working on this kit so much. It is so much fun. It is so much fun to work on, seeing these little ghosts come to life, and like each one's a mystery. Seeing each one revealed is delightful. Oh my gosh. And I know that they have more of these charts to art is what they call them, like mystery style kits to come. It's from the same artist too. And I'm here for all of it. It's so stinking cute. I love it. So I'm loving that one. I expected actually that kit to take me a lot longer to do, but it was like I had a quarter of it done in one day because I couldn't put it down. And it was going so fast because I'm using Pattern Keeper. They, at some point in the past few months, were able to make their digital charts Pattern Keeper compatible, and it is chef's kiss, game changer. I love, love, love Pattern Keeper for any cross stitch charts I'm using for conversions and stuff. So yeah, huge fan of that. And at this point next week, you'll know what I've decided to work on alongside these 2 kits or after these 2 kits. Let's see, this one's next. Drills and chills. Let me tell you what, that video for this past weekend, I was torn. It was up until Friday evening. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do for my drills and chills video for this week. I just could not decide. And I feel like it came together okay. It was certainly a video that I felt very personally awkward. I think because it came together so last minute, and I tried to edit it to make it, I don't know, a little less all over the place. I hope it came through okay. Not in a disingenuous way, just in a it really felt all over the place to me. But I really was glad that Adam came on to join me. You guys are always so sweet whenever I bring on family members, whether it's Adam or my mom, and they always have fun coming on and chatting too. So that was fun. But yeah, we're over halfway through drills and chills, which is really, really, really hard to believe. Yeah, and October, we're really in spooky season now. 88 was the high this next day, and I need number 209. Are we getting into a purple color? Yes, we are. Okay. So yes, I mentioned Taylor weekend. Now, if you are look, let me put this caveat out here. I am a Taylor Swift fan. However, I feel like I'm a level-headed Taylor Swift fan where I can go, I'm a fan of her music and about parts of her as a person, but I can also go, she's really not a perfect person. She's made some bad decisions. Not all of her music is great. And, I understand why other people might be irritated by her music, by any of those things. So I'm not trying to be obnoxious at all, but I have found her music to just be something that's been very comforting to me in a lot of ways because I've grown up with it. I say I've been a fan since the beginning. I wasn't really a diehard with her very first album, but starting with her second album, Fearless, I was pretty sold. I was a really big fan. And we're around the same age. And so there was a sense of, even though our lives could not be more polar opposite, there was sort of this sense of we're just sort of growing up together and just sort of moving through like being this general age together in some ways. That glare is really bad. What if I move it up a little bit? You can see it a little bit better there. I want you to be able to see the colors a bit. What if I'm going to move you. Okay, don't get nauseous. Let me bring you down just a little bit and angle you. I'll fix the focus. See if I can get you a better look at these really pretty diamonds, okay? How's that? A little better? Okay. Anyway, this was a new album release weekend, and honestly, with just like a lot of what's going on in the world, I was really ready and completely okay with, I just am gonna unplug and listen to some new music and just be okay with finding joy in something like that. And I'd encourage you to never feel guilty about if you need to unplug for a bit. You need to practice some self-care, and not in like the toxic positivity way, but just in the like, you can't be plugged into everything all of the time, whether it's like personal life related stuff or things going on in the world. It's like you got to do what you got to do to take care of you, and sometimes that's just listening to music that makes you happy. So that's kind of where I was at. And so Thursday night, thankfully it was 9 p.m. my time because it released at midnight Eastern, so it worked in my favor. And it's a shorter album. It only has 10 songs on it, 10 tracks on it, or 12 tracks. And so I was able to listen to it start to finish like twice before I was ready to go to bed. I always say that when I'm listening to new music that where's my tweezers? That it takes me like at least a few listens through to feel like I'm absorbing the lyrics, getting more a sense for the message and that kind of thing, and often even more than that. And so I give myself quite a lot of time to decide whether or not I like the thing. And the jury is very much still out for me on this one, because even though I have listened to this album several times this weekend and went to the release party movie, because again, why not do something that's just joyful and happy? I still am like, I just need to sit with it for longer. I haven't even known this music for a week yet. I think that, I don't know that my opinion is going to change too terribly much about having mixed feelings. Like, there's a few tracks on there that I think are really fun and really enjoyable. They're catchy as heck. Like, I don't think you can argue with how much some of these hooks are hooking. But also, there's some cringe stuff in there. We're not going to talk about track 9. Okay, we're not going to do it. We're not talking about track 9 over here. I am still like very much this, like, with no shame attached. This song didn't need to become public. First verse, great. I was like, oh, thank goodness, with, knowing the track title, thank goodness it wasn't about this one thing. And then second verse starts, I'm like, oh no, it is all about this one thing. And so I would never dream to come on here and try to defend whatever that was. So, yeah, we're not talking about that any further than that. But there's other ones like, I mean, gosh darn it, Opalite that's the one that really, really, really gets stuck in my head. And I'm like, it's a bop. Like, even if the lyrics and the songwriting aren't super fun, the music, like if you're just going off of vibes with the production, the instrumentation, like I'm shaking it. Like I can't help. It's a bop. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. As far as talking about specifics with lyrics, I don't want to bore you guys to tears. Let's see, that was number 74. That was the 10th. But what was really fun was I was also just craving some friend time. Adam is always so supportive about like, you need to like get out, see friends. Like, I will absolutely support you. I got the kids. Take time for you. Like, that's super important. He's a good one. He's a good one, you guys. But what color are we on next? 38, 34? Yes. Okay. So I was like, okay, how would you feel about me being gone for like most of the day Saturday, so that I can drive out to Jade's house. She lives like an hour, just over an hour from me with some traffic. And we're going to go see the Eras Tour movie together, and then I'll just hang out. Like, we'll just, I'm driving all the way out there. Why don't I just go hang out for a bit? And he was like, yeah, do it. And so that was my Saturday. That was yesterday. I left in the afternoon. Grabbed some coffee, hit the road. A little bit of traffic because Southern California has traffic even on the weekends. And we chatted for a while, and then it was time to go to the movie. We got snackies, and her mom came along, which was really cute. And, the movie was fun. It was fun to, basically be, at a big listening party with other people, other Taylor Swift fans, and we had a good time. Yeah, I thought the Fate of Ophelia music video and seeing the behind the scenes of that was cool. And it was just fun. It was Taylor Swift weekend is what it was. So any other Taylor Swift fans, feel free to sound off in the comments on your thoughts on this album. I feel like, let me see, my favorites as of right now, which are extremely likely to change. Okay, extremely likely to change. I actually really love the song Honey. I think it's very sweet, and I also think it's very catchy. I am enjoying Opalite a lot right now, and I do like the Fate of Ophelia. I could skip Father Figure. I know what it's about, but it's not it's not fun for me. I'm not enjoying it. Skip that. I skip Wood, even though Wood is catchy as all get out too. I just wish the lyrics were different. And others I don't have a ton of strong feelings about. Ruin the Friendship about gutted me because it starts out and you think it's kind of this fun and playful song, and then it turns out it's about something a lot sadder than that at the end, and you're like, oh, okay, well, there's that gut punch. But I don't know. And the others that I didn't mention are just they're fine, and we'll see. Yeah, you guys have to let me know what you think if you were listening to it. But it was a good weekend. It was a nice kind of escape in some ways to just kind of dive into that. And it's been fun to work on the Ghost Era's Past kit alongside that too. So while I was at Jade's, she was like, hey, do you want to, she's like, I have a bunch of extra of these. I ordered a little bit too many. Do you want to take one of these kits? And whenever you do that video, actually, you can maybe do a giveaway along with it. I was like, oh, that's really sweet. She's like, yeah, here you go. So she's got a ton of kits on hand ready to ship. A huge wall of kits if you guys are wanting to shop and wanting something ready to ship from Jada Gem Shop. You can take a look. But anyway, that was mostly my weekend. Today was Sunday, and Adam had plans today. And between the full moon and hormones for me, the PMS was PMSing today. Sorry, but it's real. We'll keep it real here. I was just so cranky today. I was so moody today, and the kids were so argumentative. They're squabbling so much. I was like, at one point I was like, all right, let's get out of the house. Everyone's getting out of the house. Kids, dog, we're loading up in the car. Not the cat. The cat stayed here. Load the kids and dog in the car. I thought, we're just going to do something that is going to turn our day around. We're going to go to Dunkin' Donuts, okay? It's a little special treat we do sometimes because it's very, very inexpensive. The kids each get a donut, and the dog gets I have to spell it because he knows it. If he hears me say it, he will come running. He'll start whining. He'll start dancing at the door to go. But the thing that you can get for dogs at coffee shops, which is usually a little cup of whipped cream. That's how Starbucks and Dunkin' both do it. Just a little cup of whipped cream. It's free. And they call it a PUP-CUP. And Scout loses his mind over these, okay? So I'm like, okay, we're going to go. And this is going to help us just turn our day around. We're going to get out of the house. That's a nice reset button. And this is going to be a nice little special treat. No. The kids squabbled in the car. Connor insisted on having Scout in his lap, but then was getting really upset because Scout can just feel a little he has a hard time laying down and getting comfortable in the car, let alone on someone's lap. And Connor was getting upset with Scout. I was I was trying to make suggestions for how to change this. Connor wanted to hear none of it because Zoe just wanted Scout in his lap. And then got really upset when Scout stepped in a sensitive spot and really hurt him, and everyone is fine, but I just was like, okay. And then hold on, did I do this right? 78 was 155. Hold on, I have to count because I'm afraid I just lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I'm good. Is that an 85 or an 88? I actually cannot tell. Skip. I think that's an 85. Yeah. Okay, 85 gets 211. So then we get to Dunkin'. And I go, hi, like, I'd like 2 donuts, one with vanilla frosting and sprinkles, one with chocolate frosting and sprinkles. And the gal comes on. She's very nice. It's not her fault, but she goes, I'm sorry, we don't have any donuts with sprinkles left. I was like, none? Not even like strawberry icing or maple icing? No sprinkles. And Connor was like, do they not just have sprinkles in there? They can just sprinkle some sprinkles on there. I was like, buddy, I don't know. So I'm like, do you have anything with icing? She's like, well, I have one that has vanilla icing. And Micah's going back going, no vanilla. Okay, Micah. But Connor's like, I'll take the vanilla. Micah's like, chocolate icing. And I was like, do you have anything with chocolate icing? And she's like, we have a Boston cream, and we have a Long John, and we have a chocolate glazed. And I was like, he's not gonna like something that has cream in the middle. And I'm thinking quickly, and I go, how about let's go with the chocolate glazed. Okay, it's fine. And thankfully that worked out. Micah was okay with it. I wasn't sure. You never know, but it ended up being okay. But then Connor again is insisting about Scout, being in his lap and wanting to hold the cup for Scout. And I think he's upstairs sleeping. So but then like whipped cream is getting everywhere because Scout's a dog and is a messy eater, and it was a whole thing. So it was not quite the reset button, the magic fix that kind of thing usually is. Usually this like is the foolproof method of helping everybody just feel a little bit better. So at one point when we got home, I got the kids situated with dinner. I wasn't feeling super hungry. And I was just like, okay, guys, we're good with dinner. I'm just going to go upstairs and I'm just going to lay on the bed and just chill, just decompress, just try to not be super overstimulated for the moment. And you guys can come get me if you need anything. And for the most part, I heard some squabbling. I had to mediate a little bit, but like as we got a little bit further into the evening, like we did okay. But my gosh, like anyone else, does it just feel like when the full moon is happening or about to happen, things just get a little bit unhinged? My mom worked in labor and delivery as a nurse for several years before she went back and got her like license to be like a neonatal nurse practitioner and like went to the NICU. But she was like, I don't know what it is, if it has to do with literally the impact of like the moon on Earth's gravity and like the tides and all this other stuff. She said, but it's a known thing like in hospitals that like there are more deliveries around the full moon, more women giving birth, and just really weird circumstances with like patients and stuff. There's something about the full moon that just makes things a little bit nutty. And so there's part of me that just wants to chalk up some of the craziness like, well, it's a full moon. Now, Micah, my moon phases obsessed 7-year-old, is delighted that the full moon is tomorrow. He's been checking on my phone in the weather app every single day to be like, okay, this many days till the full moon. Right now it's a waxing gibbous. This is the percent of illumination. This is how many hundreds of thousands of miles the moon currently is away from the moon today. Did you know that your weather app has all of these details about the moon? Yes, it does, in fact. So Micah loves it. And so every night he's really excited because the past couple of nights we've been able to see the full moon from his window, and that's been a really special treat. Like at bedtime we've been able to see it from his window, so I'm so happy that he's so happy. But yes, it was a day today. Like it almost felt a little bit like payback where it was like I was gone most of the day Saturday and the kids were like, and dog were like, we missed you so much and we're gonna show you that we missed you by punishing you. And I just was like, but we made it to the end of the day. And you know what? I I have talked to so many fellow moms that have struggled with actually major mom guilt over feelings like this, where you get to the end of the day and you kind of just look back on it and go, I was not a great mom today. I lost my temper and yelled. I was not as patient as I wanted to be. I was just counting down the hours for bedtime when everyone's like, you're supposed to enjoy every moment because it goes so fast, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have lived that life of the guilt and everything. Like, I have lived that life all too well. Okay? Yes, minor Taylor Swift reference. Bear with me here. And I just want to, I can't help it, you guys. Sometimes I just get a tiny bit preachy, a little bit on my, not pedestal, up on my podium. What's the word? What is it? Preaching. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Soapbox. That's the one. On my soapbox. I was like, I'll get there. But I really mean it, because sometimes I feel like as a mom or as a parent, or as a caregiver of some kind, sometimes you just need to hear, like, don't feel guilty. It is okay to have lost your temper, and to have had a hard time being patient, and to have snapped sometimes. Like, you're only human. You're doing the very best that you can. And like, not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day is one where you're going to be like, I am soaking up every moment. No, some days you're like, I just need it to be bedtime for the kids and for me. And, we're just going to start again tomorrow. We're just going to try again tomorrow. Like, that, it is okay. Now, if you're finding yourself having like a lot of really, really hard days, then, see if reaching out to a therapist or talking to a doctor is something that you're able to do, because if you're having a lot of those kinds of days, sometimes that kind of thing, like for me, the lack of patience, the just feeling like I was really angry a lot, ties ultimately into anxiety for me. And getting into therapy and finding a daily medication that works really well for my anxiety has been, no hyperbole, has been life-changing. And I know it's not always simple. I know often there's hurdles in the way, but it can make a really big difference if that's something that you're able to do and have access to. So I don't know. That was something I never really realized until, talking to my doctor, this idea that like often anxiety manifests as rage. And it was like, what? She's like, yeah, because this is what's happening in your brain. And, there are supports and other things out there that can help. So anyway, I'm not going to preach anymore. I'm sorry. But sometimes I just wish someone would have told me. And someone would have told me sooner, would have kind of given me that insight. I feel like it would have helped me a lot. So I can't help but bring it up sometimes. So anyway, but hopefully tomorrow and the rest of the week goes a bit smoother. Skip, what is happening? I have no idea. I'll go check on him in a minute. But okay, now I need 316. I love all the pinks that are on this shelf. This is so happy. This is my happy place. Skip. Meow, meow. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go check on him now. I'll be right back. All right, you guys. All is well. I think he just wanted some attention. He was upstairs and I walked up and he came out to greet me and he meowed at me a bunch. Sometimes he gets in these talkative moods, but this was still a bit unusual for him, which is why I wanted to make sure I went and checked on him. But I kind of let him downstairs, gave him some good pets. He did the really sweet, adorable air biscuits that cats sometimes do, where he was just standing but picking up and kneading his paws in midair. Oh, it's so freaking cute. And I led him over to his food bowl. I was like, how about a little bit of food, buddy? And he has settled in and is eating a little bit nearby. So all's well. He's so sweet. Our sweet little Skip, our tuxedo kitty. So anyway, he'd been meowing on and off so much of that. Let me go check on him. And Scout's like, what are we doing? Scout was napping over there. And now I was like, what's the kitty doing? He's down here. Are we going to play? So we'll see what they get up to. But Anyway, something fun that happened this past week was that we got to do lunch at the kids' school. They do this once in the fall, once in the spring, where they call it lunch with a loved one. And so it can be a mom or a dad if there's other loved ones in the kid's life. I feel like it's very inclusive, which is really nice. And they do it over 2 days so that there's no kids that are, left alone. And it's like, oh, this is the only kid whose parents weren't able to make it or something like that. But Adam and I both got to go. The kids have different lunch periods, so we got to see each of them and brought some lunch for them with kids' meals. So it was like an extra special treat. And they just love it. They love it so much, and they're so sweet and affectionate, and we love it too. So that was really special this past week. And on Wednesday, we went down to Adam's parents' house. We hadn't been down in a while to see them, so we just drove down after school and took Scout with us, actually, and he did great in the car. We were a little bit nervous that he might get car sick because he tends to get car sick in Adam's car and when Adam drives. My car, though, is like a mini SUV, so it sits up higher, and I'm a better driver. I don't know, I guess I feel like I'm just slightly less, I don't hit the gas as hard to like accelerate and stuff. And so I think everyone's more comfortable when I drive if we're going as a family. So Scout was really excited to go down there though. And we had a really nice afternoon and evening with them. Connor's been asking to go down and do a sleepover at their place one weekend. And so we talked about maybe doing that sometime soon. And then I had the kind of craziest experience. Okay, it wasn't that crazy. I'm playing it up a little bit for dramatic effect here. But I was at the grocery store this past week, and there were solicitors outside trying to get people to sign for something they wanted to try to get on the ballot, trying to get enough signatures to have it considered for ballot, the California ballot or whatever, which was fine. Now, I completely support people doing this. It happened to be an issue that I personally disagree with, and so I was not planning to sign. But there was something that was sort of ironic about it being something that I was not interested in supporting, but then having one of the most aggressive people that I've ever run into with this. Now, again, this is not uncommon. And I've stopped and I've talked to people that are gathering signatures and stuff outside the store. It's sure, I love that they're doing it and making their voices heard. And especially if it's a cause that I support, then I want to take some time to sign and support it. But like this guy, older guy, as I was going to walk into the store, he gets up and like in my personal space, like in what would be anyone's personal space, he's like, "Young lady, are you registered to vote?" And I just was like, "Yes." And he said, "Can you help us sign?" And then a clickbait line that I'm not going to give you here, that was just very aggressive and misleading in my opinion. I just said, "No, thanks." And he said, "Okay." And kind of attitude, but like, okay, fine, whatever. And I go into the store and I'm shopping and I go to walk out. And I thought about walking out a different door and just taking the long way to my car to avoid this person again. But I just kind of went on autopilot and I thought, well, I already gave him like a no thank you. So if he recognizes me, hopefully he's not going to make it a thing again. Spoiler. He did, in fact, make it a thing again. And I go to walk by and he goes, "Young lady, are you ready to sign now?" And I was just like, no. And I kept walking. I just thought the level of aggression and that both times getting right up in my face. Like I'm talking like his face less than a foot from mine. It was extreme. It was inappropriate. And his whole demeanor, I just said no. I just kept walking. I thought, I'm not going to get caught in a conversation with this person. This is the kind of person that is totally going to sit and try to interrogate me about like why I don't want to sign. And if I try to explain that I don't agree with this issue, like this is not going to go well. There's no universe where I think that a conversation with this person is going to be productive or helpful. And I just hope that the right people that want to, I hope it works out for them. And if it ends up all about, like, that's fine. But the level of aggression was so incredibly uncomfortable. And like, and beyond just the like, oh, I don't like that I have to say no to people that are standing outside the store. This was like, this person is being aggressive. And I was very tempted to like, I don't know. I couldn't do it. But I was tempted to go back into the store and like ask to like let a manager know and be like, this person is being what I would classify as actually aggressive to a point that it's like, I don't want to, like, it would turn me away from your store. Like, actually turn me away from your store. Not that they have to make decisions based on me, but just like, hey, solicitors are fine, but like this was too much. So, I didn't. It was very uncomfortable. So I don't know. I don't like the overall kind of climate that seems to be. No, we're not going to go there. I don't like it. It was very uncomfortable. But I'll just walk in the other door next time if I see someone set up that I hear them getting really aggressive with other people, and I can just be like, I'm just going to go in a different door and hope that anyone that's over there is a little more chill. So anyway, that was just my misadventure this week. I can't even blame the full moon for that one because that was on like a Tuesday or something. But as far as a little weekly check-in of what I've been reading and watching and listening to, reading is still nothing. The reading bug will come back sometime. I just have to let it breathe. It'll come back sometime. Watching, well, Adam and Connor had watched Fellowship of the Ring last weekend, and I sat in for most of it, and it made me cry like more than once, and I was just like, these movies hold up so beautifully well. And then a couple of days ago they watched The Two Towers, and for most of it I was not sitting in on it because I was trying to get some other work done. I was editing and stuff. Then something came up and Adam ended up having to go help his sister out with something, so I came over and sat with Connor for like the last 15 minutes of the movie, and it was like as Gandalf was like riding down a hill to save everyone at Helm's Deep. I was like, oh, I got here at the best part of the movie. But then there's like the whole like monologue from Sam talking about like the people in these stories and how they like believed in something. And I was like, then I'm in shambles and tears all over again, where I just am like, I was not emotionally prepared to be devastated once again by fictional characters, but in a way that it just felt very, I don't know, it felt very apt, again, with kind of timing things happening. And it also just reminded me so strongly of how much these movies really meant to me. They came out when I was in like high school. Yeah, when I was in high school is when they were coming out. And honestly, the movies were my introduction to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I had read The Hobbit. I probably said this last week. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. But the movies were just, I was obsessed with them from the beginning. And again, I still think they're some of the best movies that have ever been made. And I've you can't argue with it. You won't change my mind about that. There's nothing that will ever change my mind about that. And just sitting down and like watching them with Connor for the first time and how much he's absorbing from them. And just, I feel like that messaging is probably like really important and impactful for him to be hearing too. It was, I don't know. It was just something I didn't realize how much I needed, and it made me happy while it also made me cry. So if you need a little bit of just like encouragement and just good movies, go watch The Lord of the Rings. We did, of course, after they finished the movie, Adam showed him the "We're taking the hobbits to Isengard" music bit that like even Peter Jackson and like Orlando Bloom, they did a whole thing like on set. This was like one of the original memes, one of the original like things going viral, it seems like, and Connor thought that was really, really funny. But that's, yeah, I don't know, it was really fun. And what I've been listening to, well, you know what I've been listening to. Taylor Swift 12, Life of a Showgirl on repeat. But because, like I said, because there's only 12 tracks on it compared to Tortured Poets, which with the anthology had like 30 something, it was a lot. This, I'm already like, because I've been able to listen to it all the way through multiple times already at this point, it's like, okay, like I could take a break from it now. I don't need to keep it on repeat for quite as long. I feel like I've absorbed more of it. Also, you could argue that it's maybe just not as, I don't know, like meaty, not as angsty as Tortured Poets was, and so it's like a little easier to get it, I guess. I don't know. Where's number 800? Really? I was a high of 73 that day. We're starting to cool off here, completely unrelated, non sequitur here. It's starting to cool off here. It's much cooler at night. Connor tonight was like, when are we going to start wearing long sleeves at night again? I was like, are you cold? Because we can do that anytime, buddy. And he was like, no, I just was curious. And I was like, okay, well, probably sometime soon, but it's up to you. He's like, no, I'm still feeling warm enough. I don't need that. Okay. But yes, it's finally starting to cool off a little bit, which I'm really happy about, though. We usually will get 1 week of like triple digits. Like we're going to hit triple digits at least once, I'm predicting, before it's like truly fall. There's like a last gasp at the end of October almost every year. So I'm expecting that, but it would be a nice, pleasant surprise if we didn't. Because like I said, we've only had 1 or 2 100 days that it's hit 100 here, which is so unusual, but I ain't mad. Anyway, as far as what I have coming this week, well, I gave you the very, very obvious hint, but I don't actually think that I will have a sneak peek. I think that there may be delays, so, which is fine. It is what it is. I'm just happy that it's like finally coming. And what do I need? 75 is 384. Okay. So I will have a drills and chills video for you next week, though, next weekend still. And I think that video might either be a start to finish like review style video on the Ghosts Doing Stuff or the Ghost of Eras Past kit, because I've been doing time lapses for both. If you have a preference on which of those two you'd be interested in seeing, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I'd be interested to hear what people are most interested in. So if you would like to tell me, I would not say no. But that's what I'm thinking for my drills and chills video. And like I mentioned, I have a couple of videos that I've been wanting to get to, like some unboxings from a couple of companies that I probably will fill any kind of gaps that I otherwise have. So you'll have plenty of, unboxings and stuff from me this week, and drills and chills video. You'll have plenty to do. I only have 3 days left, but we're really at the end of it, so I'm sorry to cut this off before I'm really there. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, why don't you leave a book emoji? I know we've used that one recently, but why don't you leave a book emoji, just because we've been doing this bookshelf. But you can really see that September, there's a couple of blue days that was like getting into the lower 70s, but for the most part I got to see a lot more pinks and plenty of purples here. I am much happier with the overall like color families and color spread. I would probably keep this overall kind of color situation for my temperature project next year with a couple of tweaks, but the chart is still TBD. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you were working on while we chatted today. Thank you for spending some time with me this Monday morning. If you want more, I do WIP and Chats on my channel here on Monday mornings, and have a playlist where you can go back and look at my whole back catalog of WIP and Chats that goes back over 5 years now. And I don't know about you, I do like to sometimes just put on a playlist and let it roll, and then I don't have to think about it. But if you'd like to, check out that WIP and Chat playlist. Okay, now I'm like, I only have 1 day left. I am going to keep you captive and talk for just 1 more minute here without hitting the recording arm. 74 was this day, 77. I need that 38, 34 again, and then we'll be done. Ending with this dark purple color, and then I got to fill in the background and decide what trinkets I want to do. But yes, let me know what you were working on today, how you've been, any fun things you did this weekend or plans you have this week. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you here as part of my community. You'll see unboxings and WIP and chats unboxings and reviews, from a variety of companies, and weekly WIP and chats, as well as other diamond painting related stuff. And through the end of October, you're going to get weekly drills and chills videos with lots of giveaways too. But we did it, you guys. Thanks for helping me get through September on my temperature project. And I hope you're doing very well and that you have a day and a week that's as wonderful as you are. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.